who is a Rhythm Rumble music teacher, and she's been with Rhythm Rumble for, we calculated this, we do this all the time and I always forget, is it 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
Now, because you started in term 4. So it would be about this time
exactly
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God, well then
wow.
Here we go. So this was completely calculated that we are doing an anniversary chat.
There we go.
So what I would like us to talk about really is your inspiration for becoming a music teacher, because you don't just do Rhythm Rumble. What else do you do?
I teach piano, and
it's pretty good.
At the moment, I don't do much else, unless you're talking about things that I might do in my spare time. But in terms of music, at the moment, I'm mainly just teaching piano and doing the Rhythm Rumble. But I have practiced piano from time to time, and I do arrange some songs for kids. At the moment.
What else are you doing in the spare time that you speak of?
Yes.
What are you doing? I'm talking about your degree.
My degree?
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you studying at the moment?
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Completely.
Okay, so I'm studying music, primary teaching.
Yeah.
Masters of Primary Teaching.
Yeah.
And...
Masters, sorry, not degree. Masters.
I don't really think of it as masters anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's the shortest way to get to a primary teaching degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing.
I have super talented teachers at Rhythm Rumble, and we spoke to an old lady yesterday, Grace, who was a kinder and a primary school teacher. And she said, and I love this term because it's so old-fashioned, but it was perfect. She said, your teachers were top-notch.
I know, that's stuck in my brain now.
Top-notch.
So sweet.
Yeah, and I was explaining that I'm probably the least qualified to do this position because
I don't know about that, but yeah, okay.
Because you have done a music degree as well with composition, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So I actually did a double degree. So I studied an arts degree in philosophy, and then I did my music degree with honours, and a big part of that was composition. Exactly.
Wonderful. So what attracted you to the Rhythm Rumble role in the first place?
Well, for a long time before doing Rhythm Rumble, I had taught a mixture of different age children piano, and in terms of Rhythm Rumble, I was mainly attracted to the fact that it's teaching the younger aged, early childhood aged kids. I know it's a very rewarding kind of role.
I agree.
And even though at the time when I applied, I think it was, you didn't really have many teachers at the time, right?
You were the second teacher that I had hired, but they had left.
Yeah,
it was just the two of us.
Yeah.
Really.
So that in itself was kind of exciting in the sense that it was a newer company at the time, and
it was
So I don't know. I thought there's a lot of different ways or avenues that this could turn out.
Did you see possibilities even at that point? Did you?
Yeah. Well, I thought this company can grow in the sense of, there's a lot of developmental paths it could take, like in terms of the lesson plans, in terms of the number of places we ended up teaching at. But I felt it was, a nice place to try work at. Yeah, and of course I love music, so that was a big part of it. Yeah. And I think just having music in the home a lot was probably a big inspiration for me, because I don't remember this, but I do remember being told I used to kind of bang at the piano while she was practicing, and so I think I just really loved it back then.
Yeah.
So I did start taking lessons when I was younger, But I think as I got into high school and I started playing more advanced pieces, I started to get much more of a strong interest in music.
Yeah.
I mean, I always loved it. I think it's important to love it. I don't know. Somehow I connected with music and I just enjoyed it.
Did you have a music teacher that had initiated that, or was it a parent, or was it your sister that initiated that love? Or?
You know what? Now that you mention it, when I was in primary school, we had this really awesome teacher, a primary teacher for grade 5, and he really tapped into getting us to be artistic, like in terms of drawing pictures, for like he'd give us poetry, stuff to write, draw pictures to. He treated it quite seriously, like he made us get these really amazing pencils and stuff. But exactly. Yeah.
Back in the 80s, yes.
Yeah, but he also used to teach us choir, I guess, and he used to get us to do actions to songs, and we just loved doing that. Like we used to do stuff from musicals, and it was just a whole heap of fun, and I just loved music in that sense as well. It just I guess it made it more alive for us. And there were times where we used to have productions where I might have been offered a role to sing solo, and you know, I love doing that. So I think that was a really big inspiration to me in primary school. And then later in high school, I think one of the things that really helped develop my love of piano music was a movie called Shine, where they played a lot of Rachmaninoff's music in it.
I've seen that.
Oh, it's a pretty intense movie, but the music in it really, like as soon as that movie was over, I just went straight to the shops and bought a whole heap of music. Because back then we didn't have internet, so
yeah, that's exactly right.
So
I remember there was a movie called The Commitments.
Right. I don't think I've seen that.
And it's soul music, and I remember going to that as a teenager, watching that movie, and I'm like, oh my god, so I've always and same. I went to Allen's.
Yeah, to Allen's,
and bought like sheet music that was like blues and soul, and and wanted to learn jazz. I never got to the point of learning jazz because it's a whole other level of commitment
amazing
to learn that kind of stuff. But same movie. Prior to that, it was teachers as well, but and my dad. But a movie kind of really got the fire going. Going, well, there's so much more to what's out there that you can do.
Oh,
there you go.
That's interesting.
So I guess what I would like to hear for me personally is your experience at Rhythm Rumble and how it's been so far.
Look, I've loved getting to learn all the different songs and getting to see the way that children react, I guess, and develop their skills over time. So overall it's been really positive, and I think I sometimes still get amazed to see how children, like some of the younger babies, might actually tap to the beat. Like
that's
I still get amazing. I mean, there's always one of the beautiful things is seeing the kids love the classes, and you know, they obviously show affection towards their teachers as well, because they really enjoy it, and seeing how they their skills also develop, like their listening skills sometimes. You know, sometimes they say things that you don't expect, and they're very creative. So I just love teaching children in general. Like, they're so honest and open, and no filter, you know.
No filter. Has there been any experience over the years that has stayed with you in your heart? Like, has there been anything in particular that you think back fondly on, or has there been a group of children or a child that has
That's a difficult question, just because I think I value a lot of experiences, It's hard to pick just one, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do think that just trying to think. Sorry, might take a moment of pausing to think about that one.
That's okay.
Look, there's been different classes where kids might suggest certain songs, and think like they might come up with funny ideas, and like recently,
like add-ons to what we're doing.
Yeah. So I always loved when kids will request older songs that we would have done, or they'll miss it if we don't do it. So I've had that happen recently, but I've had that happen numerous times over the years. And then I kind of really like when kids might be shy, and then they'll kind of open up, and you can sort of see, even if they might, one thing that does stand out actually is that I can see that there are some kids that may have had behavioural issues earlier on, and then by like really encouraging them through music, they seem to have, they're now really attentive and behaving differently, and they seem to really tune in and love the classes. So I've had a few of those experiences, which is amazing. And you can sort of see the potential in some of the kids as well. They might be amazing singers, or they just are really engaged. So there's one place in particular I can think of that I'm still at, where I can think of a few kids in particular where that's happened. So it's really, really lovely to see that. And I think to myself, if their name was called out in a negative way, like, don't do this or whatever, just to kind of encourage them and give them something else to
be proud
of. I feel that would do a lot for them, probably internally. So,
well, I think that's huge. Like, we can always go back to that one teacher that made us feel a little bit special, and you can kind of hang on to that. Like, there is a glimmer of hope in all of us to reach our full potential. I think that there's lots of trauma that goes on in everybody's lives. I mean, the degrees of trauma that can happen to people, and if you're that one person that can give them a little bit of light, that hopefully they can hold on to.
I hope that I don't know if that's what I'm doing, but I hope that may be the impact. I don't know. It would be beautiful.
We never get to see the long-term effects of what we do, because we don't always get to engage with the parents. So we're at childcare centres and kindergartens, and once they leave that environment,
we don't actually really get to see what happens next.
Exactly. There's one child that I connected with the mother on Instagram, so sometimes I get to see what's going on, and she's a very engaged mother, and he seems to be engaging in music. So it kind of makes me proud that maybe there was some part of what we did in our music classes at a play centre that might carry through in the future. Who knows? I don't know. But being an educator is certainly important. I think it has its value.
I think so too. And I think
we have a gremlin in the background trying to get our attention. So that's beautiful. I'm glad that you've had that experience. I don't really think I have anything else to ask. I mean, I know lots about you, so to ask you questions that I already know the answers to is kind of funny to do that. We've known each other now for 5 years, and I think of you as a friend as much as I think of you as a music teacher at Rhythm Rumble, and I have a huge amount of respect for everything that you've done, and you've always done 110% whenever I've asked you to do something for Rhythm Rumble in the classes, and you always give massive amounts of input into, like even today we were talking about, what's your opinion on our intergenerational classes, and we ended up cutting out a rainbow puzzle that we're going to use in our intergenerational music classes in the near future. So yeah, I think that's been amazing to have you. I know my husband thinks that you're pretty awesome. He's like, don't lose Christina. Whatever you do, don't lose Christina. It will happen one day, I think.
Oh, look, who knows what the future holds, really.
I'm trying to keep you with guilt, like the old mothers. Stay! You don't know, it's not going to be any better anywhere else. Stay with me. But no, I'm only joking. If you might pursue your career in education, which would be awesome.
Maybe down the track. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a bit of a while until I get to that point, to be honest, because I'm doing it really slowly at the moment.
That's okay.
One subject, like it'll probably take another. I'm only halfway, so it might take
she's
another
only halfway. It's
5
okay.
years or something.
5 years. Awesome.
Who knows? No, but it's really special doing something you love, I think.
Yeah.
And for me, I love music, and I've always had a connection with music, and I think to teach young kids is really beautiful and rewarding.
Yeah. And it's instantaneous reward too. Like they
Yeah.
tell you right then and there whether you're doing a good or bad
Yeah,
job.
they
You
do.
can
And they're very affectionate too. You know, like
they're cute. Yeah,
they're very cute.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Yeah. What do you find is the most difficult age to teach?
That's a really tough question, because I used to find the babies very tough to teach
Because?
because they would just stare at us. At least at the beginning, and they still do sometimes, but now that I know that a lot of the times they're just taking things in and probably just getting used to it all. That's what you know, it kind of helps me to get through it, and you know, you do see how they change over time as well, and I think I think it's probably easier in some ways to teach the more active kids, or, you know, age 3 to 5. I think at the moment 2 to 3-year-olds might be more challenging in the sense that the behavioural management side of things.
Yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with toddlers, you know,
exactly.
like, so that may be probably the most challenging at the moment. But yeah, I think it's changed. I used to think babies.
I used to feel like that about babies, but then I realised that if they're not crawling away, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if they're not crying, because sometimes when they're crying and you start singing, they stop.
That is so true, and I've had that experience a lot.
Yeah, and I think that was my
lately,
key learning. Like, no, just they're still here.
They're still here, yeah.
They're not walking away from me, so I think they're interested.
Yeah.
And when they stop crying, that's an amazing achievement.
And I've had some experiences where educators might say, "Oh, don't worry about that, giving one to that child. They don't, you know, they're new here, or they might,
but they need it the most."
But then when you do actually still give it to them, they usually come over, which is really lovely.
Down and I think that they need it the most. I was at because I think I do more singing with Zane than I did with my 2 older girls, and I was at a hospital appointment with Ava, and Zane was with me, and the hospital appointment turned into not half an hour, 5 hours long. She'd broken her finger, and so he was stuck with us, and of course he was tired and hungry, and we were in this little cubicle, and I had to settle him, so I was singing him In the Name.
Oh, nice.
Quietly, because I didn't want everyone to hear me as well, so he was quietly singing this song, and he was calming down. It was really effective, and as soon as I stopped, he would cry again, so I had to sing it 15 times. But the effect that song had on him, partly because he knew it and it was familiar, but because it's such a beautiful tune that the music was calming him down. Like it was probably doing something that, you know, magical inside his brain that I've got no idea about. That was, you know, soothing him and helping him self-regulate. Like that's an amazing achievement to have.
I agree.
Yeah, and they say, you know, singing to babies lullabies and all that kind of stuff has that effect on them. So yeah, my advice is to sing to that crying child next time, isn't it?
Yes.
So I guess, I mean, that's the main. We've actually covered quite a lot. We didn't know what we were going to talk about, but we did all right. So I just wanted to say thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's always.